make you aware of, on the worksheet you just turned in, okay, I'm going to give you 1 point per problem. Alright, so I'm looking, did you do all 4 steps for each problem? So like if you didn't go through and write sentences on Friday's stuff, that's going to be an issue. You're going to miss points. Okay? So I'm telling you right now, 1 and 2 I'm going over with you. You better get it all down because that's going to be 2 of your points. I'm basically checking. Are you taking notes? And then are you attempting the homework problems is what I'm checking. So anything over the next few days that I collect is just going to be 1 point pretty much per problem. Okay? Alright, does anybody have a question on that? Okay, so if you did not do all the parts you needed to do here on the worksheet you just turned in, let's fix that for right now. Okay? Alright. So number 1, here we go. Okay, we still have the exact same rules. We're going to define a variable, write a system of equations, solve, and then write a sentence. Okay? Again, each sentence sometimes will be an equation. So as we read here, it says a group has 25 students and 2 teachers, bought tickets to Holiday World that the total cost was $97.50. The second group had 32 students and 3 teachers and the cost was $127. What was the cost per ticket for each student and each teacher? Okay, so first off, what are we looking for here?
What the cost was for each student and teacher.
Okay, so cost for student and the cost for teacher. Very good. So I'm going to put S for student. So cost per student. Okay, if you just put student, you won't get full credit. I need to know what about the students. How many are they? The pricing, whatever it might be. Okay, and then I'm going to use T for teacher. So cost per teacher. Okay. All right. So now, like I said, each part here, or each sentence, will be an equation. So when it says 25 students, 2 teachers, $97.50, what do you think you're going to put there? Anybody got an idea?
25.
25S? Good, 25S plus 2T, and how many is that going to equal? 97.50. I mean, guys, you're literally just writing down what's got. 25 students, so 25S, 2 teachers, 97.50. Okay? Now, what would the second equation here be if I have 32 students, 3 teachers, 127? What would that look like, Ben?
32 plus 3T equals
Very good. Okay? Alright, so now, is this going to be set up for substitution or elimination?
1.
Elimination. Substitution would be a bad way to go on this. Okay? So now, if I'm looking at this, 25 and 32 or 2 and 3?
2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Alright, so what should I multiply the top guy by here? Okay, 3. If I do the top 3, what would the bottom be?
Negative.
-2. Remember, you have to have opposite sides. It doesn't matter if you make this a positive 3, -3, just make the other one the other opposite side. Okay? So if you were to do -3 and +2, that would have been fine. Okay? Alright, just make sure we got opposite signs. That's key. Okay, so now, this is why we have calculators. Alright, so we got a little bit of work to do. Okay, what's 25 times 3? 75. So 75S plus 6T equals, alright, 97.50 times 3.
292.50.
Okay, it's 292.50. Okay, now we're going to multiply the bottom by -2. So, good, -64, -6, and what's 127 times 2? Anybody? No. 127 times -2.
-2.
No, 54.
Yeah, -254. Okay. Alright, so now what's going to cancel out here? The 6's go. Alright, so now 75 minus 64. Good, so 11S equals, and then take 292.50 minus 254. What do we get there? Good, 38.50. And then my last step will be to do what? So what did you end up with when you divide by 11 there? Good, 350. Okay, Okay, so a student ticket's gonna be $3.50. Okay? Alright, now, where do you wanna plug that back in at? Okay, top it is, so we're gonna plug this in for student. Okay, so I'm gonna take 25 times 350 plus 2t equals 9750. Everybody okay with that? Alright, so 25 times 350, what'd you guys get? Good, 8750 plus 2t equals 9750. Alright. Okay, Chloe, what are we gonna do now to solve this?
We're gonna subtract 8750.
Good. So 2t equals what, guys? 10. So t equals 5. Very good. Okay? So now, a sentence. What would be a good sentence here for this guy? James?
The cost of student tickets are $3.50 and the cost of teacher tickets $5.
Okay, good. So the cost for a student is $3.50, and the cost for a teacher is $5. Okay? Okay, again, each sentence or comma and a lot of times will separate things for you. Okay? Alright, does anybody have a question about that? Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next one. Now on this guy, there's not gonna be an and or comma or sentence. You got two separate ideas here, okay, but it's all mixed together. So it says Jocelyn has $2.20 in her pocket made up of 27 nickels and dimes. Obviously she was raiding the couch or the, somewhere in the car, or mom's changed her, dad's changed her, or whatever. But she must be struggling for some money, all right? So she's got nickels and dimes in her pocket. There's 27 of them, okay? She has a total of 220. How many of each type does she have? Okay, so first off, what are we looking for?
We're looking for the different types of coins. How many?
Okay, so how many of each type of coin she has? So I'm going to use N for nickel and D for dime. Okay, so N, and if you just put nickel and you just put dime, that's not going to get you full credit. Okay, so N would be number of nickels. And D would be number of dimes. Okay, everybody good there so far? Okay, so now, one of the things we need to talk about is when you're given a total and you're given money. Those are two separate equations. Money will always stay together. A number of items will always stay together. Okay? So let's start with that 27. What makes up 27 coins? Nickels and dimes, right? Okay, so I have nickels and dimes. So N plus D equals 27. Okay? So again, we are always going to have like an amount equation. And then we're always going to have our next one, which is going to be the money equation. Okay? Money will always be together. Now, what do you know about money? Say that again. What do we know about money? Okay, nickels and dimes, and how much does she have? 220. Okay, so again, this guy, we're going to have all money across the board here. Money, okay? So we know we have a total of $2.20, right? Now, one of the things they do not include on a problem like this is they expect you to know how much a nickel and a dime is. That's why they don't include that information. So how much is a nickel? 5 cents. How do you write that? Because you can't just put 5, because that means $5. 0.05. Okay, so we've got a nickel is 0.05 in. All right, what about dimes? Okay, 0.10. Now, I don't care if you put 1 or 0.10. Whatever makes you feel better so that you get the right answer. All right? So we've got 5 cents for a nickel, 10 cents for a dime, and it's gonna give you a total of, was it 220?
Yeah.
Okay, 220. So again, a total amount will always be in one. Notice how I've got money across the board in all 3 sections. Okay, that should always happen. Okay, so money, money, money. Money problem. Okay? So now, how do you guys want to solve this? Substitution or elimination? Okay, substitution. It does not matter. One way is not better than the other here. So if you would have said elimination, then you would have multiplied either by 0.05, right? Or by 0.1, but it had to have been negatives. Does that make sense? Okay, but since you guys said substitution, what do you want to solve for here? What guy do you want to get by itself?
Subtraction.
Subtract what?
N.
Okay, subtract n, so she's going to get the d all by itself. Okay, so she's going to move the n over. So subtract n off to the other side. Does that make sense? So we have d equals 27 minus n. And again, that guy's out. Is that making sense to everybody? Okay, so now where's 27 minus n going to go? Okay, but where in bottom?
In point.
Good, n for the d, right? D equals, so it goes in for the d. So I've got 0.05n plus 0.10, or 0.1, doesn't matter. N for d, I'm going to have 27 minus n equals 220. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so then what would my next step be here? Ben? Good, distribute the 10 cents through. So I'm gonna have 5 cents in plus, move it 1 decimal over, so 2.7 minus 10 cents in equals 220. Is everybody okay with what we've done so far? Okay, so then the next step would be to do what? Combine my terms. So put together the 5 cents and the 10 cents, but be careful because that 10 cents is negative. Okay. Good, so negative 0.05 n plus 2.7 equals 220. Is everybody okay there? Okay, our next step would be to do what, Evan?
Subtract 2.7.
Good, subtract the 2.7 over. So I have negative 5 cents in equals, now I subtract that 2.7, what do we get there?
Negative
What?
Well, it's negative
217.3.
Okay, if you have $2.20
It's
and you're
point-
taking
it's
off
point-
$2.70,
Yeah,
Negative
negative two,
point.
negative 0.5.
okay, negative 0.5, yeah, 50 cents, right? There's 50 cents between them? Whew. All right, so we get negative 50 cents. It's a little rough. Oh, no in there.
Yeah.
All right, so now divide, right, by 0.05, by negative 0.05. Right, so what does n equal? Put your calculator out, please. How many nickels are in 50 cents, guys? This is nickels, this is 50 cents. How many nickels are in 50 cents? 10, right? 10 nickels would be 50 cents. Woo! That was a little rough. Okay, so now we're going to take this and plug it back in, and I'm just going to plug it in the one we already have ready to roll. Okay? So D equals 27 minus 10. So D equals 17. Okay? All right, so she has, yeah, 10 nickels, shoot, I have to write that wrong. 10 nickels and 17 dimes in her pocket. Yeah, James struggling over there. All right, does anybody have a question on anything we've done there? Okay, that concludes our notes, so now you guys are gonna start number 3, and do number 3, and then the whole backside there up to number